Welcome to episode 4 in this video series which disassembles Kent Hovind's doctoral dissertation as leaked to the internet on wikileaks.org on 9th of December 2009. This is a line-by-line reading and analysis of the whole document. So far we have covered the dedication and introduction in parts 1 to 3, and if you have not seen those yet, I recommend that you watch those first. In this part, we will start on chapter 1. The history of evolution. Okay, has everybody got their snorkels on? Let's dive back into the dumb. Where in the world did the idea come from that things left to themselves can improve with time? Well, I don't know, Kent. I'm guessing it probably wasn't you, but I'm also guessing that you're going to tell us anyway. And I'm guessing as well that you've never heard of bread, Scotch whiskey, and fine wine. Who would start a crazy idea like that? This idea is the opposite of everything that we observe in the world today. Well, of course it is, Kent, with the obvious exception of, among other things, bread, Scotch whiskey, and fine wine. For instance, all the highways in our nation today, left to themselves, decay, deteriorate, and fall apart. Ah, yes, Kent, because we don't build 'em like the Romans did, do we? A house left to itself will become a wreck. Is anybody noticing a trend here where he's referencing inanimate objects and comparing them against biological evolution? It takes work and constant planning to make anything improve. And if you'd put more work and more constant planning into your doctoral dissertation, it would have improved beyond the pile of crap that I'm reading today. Ah, yes, the next sentence. Everything tends towards disorder. A bit like your doctoral dissertation, really, isn't it? I suppose you're going to tell us that 18 years ago it was coherent and complete, and that it's just decayed over time. The first and second laws of thermodynamics are well-established scientific laws that have never been observed in the universe to be broken. Ah, at last, something factually correct. I'm going to note that down. The first law states that matter cannot be created or destroyed by ordinary means. Actually, Ken, I don't think they usually tag on the by ordinary means bit. These are physical laws, Kent, not like tax laws. There aren't any extenuating circumstances. Then again, in your case, I think you found that there weren't any extenuating circumstances in tax laws either. We do not see anything being created today, and yet we do see an entire universe of created material. Well, Kent, that's just your point of view, but seeing as this is a doctoral dissertation in Christian education, I'm going to let you have that one for now. This clearly indicates a creator. Yes, Kent, you are actually correct on this. The sentence, "We do see an entire universe of created material," does clearly indicate a creator. However, reality is very different. There are people in the world today who wish to avoid the concept of God. Yes, Kent. And those people would be called serious scientists, who engage in the endeavour of assigning naturalistic reasonings for understanding the naturalistic universe. Simply invoking the supernatural and saying, "God done it," gets you absolutely nowhere. They do not like the idea of God telling them what to do. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, Kent, but I don't think God has actually told anybody what to do since the days of the Old Testament. And when we do come across somebody who claims that God has told them to do something, we tend to lock them up. It's not that we don't like them. It's just that God tends to have a habit of telling people to murder other people. And that's bad. But I digress. Therefore, they have come up with the most dangerous, damnable doctrine ever imagined. Evolution. Yes, Kent, it's so evil, it's got the word evil in it. I would like in this chapter to trace the history of evolutionary doctrine. But I'm going to put good money on it that you're going to get it wrong. Where did this dangerous doctrine come from? I don't know, Kent. I've never heard of the doctrine of evolution. I've heard of the theory of evolution. I'll post a link in the sidebar to the definition of doctrine. I'll leave it for the viewer to decide where the theory that explains allelic frequency within a population over time fits into such a definition. Evolution is purely a religion. Not quite sure. There is no scientific evidence at all to back up any form of macroevolution. That's a bold, sweeping statement. Kent, do you know all those books you said earlier on that you'd read? Go on, admit it. You just looked at the pictures, really, didn't you? You can't have actually read any of the words. I mean, come on. You gotta be joking. The Nile isn't just a river in Egypt, you know. Anyhow, over to the next page. Oh, and it starts with a good one. The technical definition of evolution means change. Now, come on, Kent, admit it. That's a bit of an oversimplification now, isn't it? You're talking about Darwinian evolution. And there's a little bit more to that definition now, isn't there? There is no question that things do change. Apart from when they don't, but carry on. All change is directed either downward towards less order, if left to themselves, or upwards, with a mastermind behind it. Kent, one word. Crystals. The cities that we live in have evolved over the years. Cities? Cities? Are you serious? The city where you are now probably did not even exist 300 years ago. Unless, of course, you're sat in one of those cities that's mentioned in the Bible, in which case it will have been there over 2,000 years ago. A college professor told me that cities evolve with time. Yes, Kent, and because the sentence he uttered contained the word evolve, you thought you'd link it to Darwinian evolution. There's nothing quite like context, is there now, Kent? I'm sure during the course of that conversation, the said professor also told you to shut the fuck up and sit down, because you were making a bloody idiot of yourself.
You're a fucktard.